Fine. So each time you will count number of dilutions, and the dilutions are taken as minus power, and the dilution factor are always the positive power. So you can correspond the dilution with dilution power, only you need to change the power. If it is minus, you need to put a positive power, right? So if you are having dilution in this way, 10 to the power minus 2, for example, it is showing that the dilution factor is 100 or 10 to the power 2 plus 2. It is having 10 to power dilution is showing 10 to power minus 5. It is showing that dilution factor is 10 to power plus 5. Okay, so you will put 5 zeros after one. And thus you are analyzing the plaque, the number of viruses by this plaque assay technique. Now, you are having a question here. Suppose 25 plaques are produced, as it is also showing in this particular diagram. So there are 25 plaques in this particular tube, and this tube is actually having 10,000 times dilution factor, right? So this is one, here it is 10 time dilution, then 100, 1000, 10,000. So it is having 10 to the power 4 times dilution. So you need to multiply this dilution factor with the number of plaques you are able to count in this particular tube. So that's how you can count for any tube. But because if you plate the viruses from this particular tube, suppose you have grown the bacteria in a culture plate, and you are adding viruses from this particular tube. So actually there are too many plaques over the plate. You are not able to count sometimes. And if you take from this tube, it will even show great number of plaques. So at least you need to take that particular plate into count, in which you are easily able to count the number of plaques. For example, here you are able to see the they are separated, means you are able to see the clear differences and clear distance between the plaques. And that's how, once you are able to count the number of plaques, you will multiply by this dilution factor, which is taken into account. I will tell you two more questions. Okay, so they are given at the end of this text. We will solve them and I will tell you further, right? So it is showing 25 to 10 to the 4 viruses, or the plaque forming units, in this undiluted culture. So each time you need to count the number of plaques generally for this tube. But if in the question you were asked for any tube, you can count accordingly. You need to remove that dilution factor. Uh, Suppose you were asked for this particular tube, so you will remove one dilution factor, you will multiply with 10 to the power 3. So it will give you the number of viruses or plaque in this particular tube. Now, so one thing is to count number of viruses in the stock solution. So that's how we will count number of viruses in our stock, by counting number of plaques on our culture plate, right? So this is how one type of questions you will face. But there is another type of questions from the same topic, which is called as MOI, multiplicity of infection. So in this type, actually, this is not very tough though. This is quite easy. So this is known as multiplicity of infection, right? MOI. So what is this actually? Multiplicity of infection in simpler terms is the number of viral particles which are going to infect the same cell. Okay. So at the same time, how many bacteriophages or viral particles are available for each cell of bacteria. So this is known as multiplicity of infection. Suppose if you are having a high number of viruses compared to the bacterial cell, then you can calculate these number, and you can say that for each bacterial cell you are having many viral particles, so there is more probability of infection. The probability of infection will increase with the multiplicity of infection. With the MOI, the probability of infection will increase. But I will tell you one more factor. So let's discuss this first. When bacteriophages and their bacterial host are mixed with each other, then the bacteria and the phage will collide randomly. And this random interactions or collisions leading to the phage infection. So ultimately what will happen, the viral particle will enter into the bacterial cell and it will infect the particle bacterial cell, right? So the percentage of bacterial cell that will be infected depends upon the concentration of the phage and bacteria. Now the uh, both will the number of both cells, means the viruses and viral particles and the bacterial cells, will decide this multiplicity of infection. Higher concentration of the phage and bacteria leads to the more infection. Suppose if you are having higher concentration of viral particles and you are having high number of bacterial cells, and ultimately what will happen, because you are having high number of viruses, the concentration of viruses is more, you will see there is more number of infections. So it is directly proportional. If you increase the number of viruses and bacteria, ultimately number of infections will increase. And if you increase one, for example, if you increase the viral particles, but you will keep uh, the number of bacterial cells or the host cells constant, then also this multiplicity of infection will increase. So the efficiency of infection is affected not only by the concentration of the virus and the bacteria, but also by the ratio of, so this ratio will also going to change the multiplicity of infection and the overall infection which is happening in the culture, right? So what you need to do, always you need to keep the virus above, right? And you will multiply with the number of bacteria. So affected not only with concentration, but also with the ratio. And this ratio is actually called multiplicity of infection, right? For example, there are 1,000 virus and you are adding 100 bacteria, right? Now you are able to observe, if you divide this 1,000, because I told you you need to keep viruses always above. So 1,000 divided by 100, it will give you, right, it will give you 10 viral particle per bacterial cell. So 10 viral particle are going to infect the single bacterial cell, and there will be multiplicity of infection will be said to be 10. So this number which you are able to get by this ratio, you will take viruses here and bacterial cell here, then this is known as multiplicity of infection. I mean, how many viruses are going to infect the same viral cell, sorry, same bacterial cell, right? If only 500 viruses have been added to the same culture, suppose the 100 bacteria and you are the second time you are adding 500 viruses to the 100 cells, now you will see, so it is only 5, right? So the multiplicity of infection will decrease. So it is showing you two things. One is this ratio is very, very important. The second thing is the concentration is also important, because if you are having concentration higher, means 1,000 phases here, then for 100 bacterial cells, they are having high MOI. So the multiplicity of infection depend upon this concentration, they are directly proportional, and upon this ratio, right? So the second time you are able to get the 5 multiplicity of infection, so you need to remember this. Multiplicity of infection or MOI can be either high or low. If the phage, the number of viruses greatly exceed the number of bacterial cells to infect, the cells are infected at high multiplicity of infection. Suppose, so what is the significance of this number? Here you are having 5, suppose here you are having 10. This is called multiplicity of infection, MOI. So the number signifies that here it is having a high probability of infecting that particular bacterial cell, because each bacterial cell have generally 10 viral particles. 10 viral particles are available for each bacterial cell. Therefore, the infection chances are high in this particular culture when compared to this one. So this multiplicity of infection number is going to tell you how many viral particles you are having to infect each bacterial cell. भाई एक bacterial cell को infect करने के लिए कितने virus particles available हैं? This number is known as multiplicity of infection. If you are having a high virus, high multiplicity of infection, means there are more chances, there is more probability of infection in that particular bacterial culture. But remember one thing. So this is one thing, and there is a query. Okay, so multiplicity of infection is high when the concentration of RS is high, and MOI is low when concentration of the bacteria is high. Right? You are correct. So simply because you are taking the number of viruses on this side. So if this is high, the concentration of virus is high, then only you are having a high multiplicity of infection. If you are having high number of bacteria in comparison to viruses, then ultimately it will decrease, right? So this concentration of viruses is going to be directly proportional to your multiplicity of infection. Not only this, this ratio will also decide. So if you are having 5,000 phases and you are having 500 bacteria, then also you are going to get the same number, right? So this ratio will decide everything. Now we will see how it is helpful. So I will give you two more examples so that will clear everything. So let us move to the next page. So see here, however, even at very high MOI, so this is the thing I want to tell you. Suppose you are having very high multiplicity of infection. This also will not assure you, this will not give you the guarantee that all the bacterial cell will be infected. Not all the cells will be infected. This will not assure you that all the bacterial cells are infected, although you are having 10 viruses per bacterial cell. Still, there is no guarantee that all the bacterial cells will be infected. So we need to calculate some percentage that how many bacterial cells can be infected, how many bacterial cells are still uninfected in that particular situation at that particular MOI, right? So these two things we are going to calculate. So this is going to be a bit interesting, right? So there is also a statistical variation in the number of viruses of these phases which bind to each cell, because so this line is telling everything though. So the number of viral particles which are binding to a bacterial cell is different. As we know, the first step will be adsorption, right? Penetration, adsorption. So the number of viral particles which are binding to a bacterial cell will vary. Suppose to a bacterial cell, so this is random. The number of phases or viruses infecting each cell will follow a normal distribution. What it means? So this normal distribution is showing that it is not equal. Number of phases which are binding to a bacterial cell is not equal. For example, in the above examples, some cell will be infected by 10 viruses at highest multiplicity of infection. Some cell by chance will receive no phase at all, and they will remain uninfected even at this particular multiplicity of infection. Oh, sorry, I skipped one line actually. So by 10 phases, the average number of multiplicity of infection, but some will be infected by the 9, some by 8, some by 6, some by 5, and so on. So each time, the number of viral particles which are going to infect a single bacterial cell or the host cell will vary, and it will be completely a normal distribution. It is showing that it can be anything starting from 10, which is the average multiplicity of infection. So some cells will be infected by 10, 9, some by 8, 6, or so on. So it is a completely normal distribution, kind of random thing. And because all the cells are not infected by equal number of bacteriophages or the viruses, therefore there is no guarantee that all the cells will be infected, right? The minimum fraction of the cells that will escape the infection due to statistical variation can be calculated by using the Poisson distribution. If someone asks you how we are going to calculate this, so this is known as Poisson distribution, which is an approximation of the normal distribution. So you are having normal distribution, then the second type of distribution, which generally you will see in statistical studies, this is known as Poisson distribution. So now we will calculate this number. Okay. So according to the Poisson distribution, the probability of cells, the bacterial cells which receiving the no phage at all, no virus, or which are uninfected even at this multiplicity of infection are shown by P naught, right? So this number P naught is actually the number of bacterial cells which are not infected by any viral particle, is at least e to the power minus MY. Now you need to remember this. This is also important. So right. So this will give you a number that is actually e to the power minus multiplicity of infection. Suppose you are having so two type of calculations you did. One you are able to get the 10, the multiplicity of infection was 10, and in one calculation you are having 5. So now you need to calculate this number. It will give you this number of cells which will be remaining uninfected, which will not be infected by any bacteriophage. Since this multiplicity of infection is the average number of viruses per cell, suppose you are having multiplicity of infection 5. So what will you do? You will put e to the power minus 5 because it is the rule. So e to the power minus my. So if you are having a multiplicity of infection 5, so you will put the 5 power. And you are getting this particular number. If you are having a calculator, you can calculate this. If you put e to the power minus 5, you will get 0.0067, which is actually, if you calculate the percentage of this number, you will put this point here. So 0.67%. So it is showing that if you are having 5 viruses per bacterial cell available, still you are having chances of that 0.67% cells will remain uninfected. If you are not able to get this concept, please tell me or please ask me. I will repeat it again, but this is really important. This is going to help you calculate number of cells which are not infected even at a high multiplicity of infection. Okay, no problem. So you got this, how we will count the number of plaques. Then we were discussing multiplicity of infection. We will call it MOI, right? So the multiplicity of infection is the number of viral particles which are going to infect a bacterial host cell, right? So कितने वायरस पार्टिकल्स अवेलेबल हैं एक बैक्टीरियल सेल को इन्फेक्ट करने के लिए, ठीक है? तो दो चीजें हैं जो इसको अफेक्ट कर सकती हैं, which are going to affect this. First is the concentration of virus, and the second is the ratio of virus to bacterial cells, right? So if you are having 1000 bacteriophages, for example, it means, so suppose you are having 1000 bacteriophages or virus per 100 bacterial cell, it will give you 10, means this is called multiplicity of infection. So you are having 10 viral particles per bacterial cell. If you change this number, you will find that suppose you are having 5000 and for 500 bacterial cells, still you may have the same multiplicity of infection, right? So one thing you need to understand is this ratio is important, means the number of virus particles divided by number of bacterial cells. They may have the same multiplicity of infection, but actually this concentration and the ratio, they will change everything. Suppose in the second case, you are having 500 viruses for 100 bacterial cells. So the number of viruses will change. You will have only 5 viruses to infect a single bacterial cell. Now both the numbers are showing something which is very important. One is here you are having multiplicity of infection 5. In these cases, in above 2 cases, you are having multiplicity of infection 10. So what it signifies? It signifies that if you are having more number of viruses, more number of bacteriophages per bacterial cell available. So suppose in one case you are having 5 viruses to infect the one E. coli cell, and in the second case you are having 10 viruses to infect a single E. coli cell. So you will, anyone can tell this, that here is more chances of infection because here you have 10 viruses to infect the same bacterial cell, right? So what is the significance of multiplicity of infection or MOI number is this will give you a surety of infection, right? How much is the probability of that particular infection which is going to take place. But even if you are having 10 MOI or 5 MOI, which are high number, if you compare them with 0.1 or 1, even at these high MOI multiplicity of infection, this is not assured, this is not 100% that all cells will be infected. Now, how will you calculate how many cells will remain uninfected? You need to do some calculations, and these calculations are called as Poisson distribution. So if you count, so you need to find a reason why even at very high multiplicity of infection, not all the cells will be infected. So why this knot is written here? Knot is showing that even if you are having high multiplicity of infection, you are having 5 or 10 bacteriophages available to infect each bacterial cell, still you are not very sure that each and every bacterial cell is going to infected. So these viruses even can skip some bacterial cells. And why they are skipping these bacterial cells? Because this is a random process, and number of bacterial cells, number of viruses which are going to attach to a specific bacterial cell is different. Suppose if you are having multiplicity of infection 10, then there may be some chances that some bacterial cell will bind to the 10 bacteriophages or viral particles, which is the average multiplicity of infection. But this is not true for all the bacterial cells which are present in the culture. Some bacterial cell will be infected by 9 phases, some by 8, some by 6, some by 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So anything is possible in the culture. So actually this is showing you a normal distribution. This is a normal distribution, right? Now you need to find out how many cells are there in the culture which are not infected even at high multiplicity of infection. So you need to find this Poisson distribution, which is actually shown by P
Hey,
naught.
आराम तो कर लो ना.
So Anirudh, please mute your mic, please, beta. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so you need to find out this value, this P naught, which is actually e to the power minus multiplicity of infection. So suppose you are having 5 multiplicity of infection, 5. So we have calculated in our last problem, right? So if you are having 5, you know there are 5 viruses available to infect each bacterial cell or the host cell. Then you need to count the P naught. Okay, so this P naught value is actually e to the power minus MOI. You will put minus 5. E to the power minus 5 is actually something around 0.0067. This number, you will convert this number into the percentage. You will put this point here. So you will get 0.67%. Now what this P naught is signifying, this is showing that this percentage of bacterial cells in the culture are not infected or remain uninfected. They are not going to be infected by the viral particles, even if you are having multiplicity of infection 5. At an multiplicity of infection 1, so what will you do? You will put e to the power minus 1. You are having multiplicity of infection 1 means you are having one viral particle to infect each bacterial cell. As I told you earlier, so the first thing is this multiplicity of infection. If you are having a high number, there is more chances of infection. Now, if you are having only one virus to infect each bacterial cell, then you will see that the number is more than the number of cells which will not be infected by the viral particles, because you are having only one virus to infect each bacterial cell. So see here, I told you if you are having multiplicity of infection 5, so you put 5 as a power of e to the power minus 5, right? And you are able to get this percentage. And this is the percentage of cells which will remain uninfected, means there is no infection in these cells, this number of cells. Now, if you are having low multiplicity of infection, only one, then you will put e to power minus 1 and you will find that you will get some number that is, if you convert that number into the percentage, you will find that this is showing 37%, right? So it is showing the 37% cells in the culture will remain uninfected. So each time this, not only this multiplicity of infection, this P naught number is going to tell you number of cells in the culture which will remain uninfected. If you subtract this 37 out of 100, you are able to calculate the number of cells that is showing 63% of the cells will be infected at an multiplicity of infection 1. If you are having one virus to infect each bacterial cell in the culture, you can say that 63% cells will be infected and a rough about 37% cells, which is the number of cells which will not be infected or will remain uninfected at MOI 1. So from the discussion, you got two things. One is, if you are having a high multiplicity of infection, the chances of uninfected cells is low, or you can say in other words, the number of cells which will be infected is high, right? If you take multiplicity of infection as 6 or 7 or 10, you will see that this percentage will further decrease. Okay, so this percentage is actually showing you the number of uninfected cells which are not infected by the virus. If you increase this multiplicity of infection, the number of uninfected cells will decrease, right? But even at very high multiplicity of infection, there are some cells which are not infected at all. So you need to keep this into mind. Therefore, you need to calculate this P naught number, right? Now we are having one problem. So let's solve two problems. Then you will be familiar with these type of problems, how many type of questions can be asked, right? So the first question is quite simple, and this is from the first problem, which is in which you need to count the number of CFU, colony forming units, in this particular tube. This is known as stalk tube, stalk. So you know stalk is very concentrated, so you need to count in this particular tube, but the question is quite complex, so you need to read it carefully. This is not as simple as we have solved in the text, right? Right, so a virus stock or the phage, bacteriophage stock is diluted in the following manner. So this is the stock and you are going to dilute it, right? 0.1 ml of the phage stock is diluted into 9.9 ml of the dilution buffer. So you are having this dilution buffer or the solvent in this tube and you are going to dilute it. As I ask you then, you should remember this. If you are adding 0.1 ml into this tube, which is having 9.9 ml of solvent, you are going to, how many times you are diluting? You are already diluting it 10 to power 2 times, mean 100 times, right? So each time you need to write it here, whatever you understand out of question. So here I'm writing 100 because I'm diluting it 100 times, right? So if you add 0.1 ml into 9.9 ml, so you are diluting it already 100 times. Then again you are moving this into 9.9 ml, you are diluting it again 100 times. Sorry, it is taking time, so I'm writing it like this. Right. So please read the question at the same time, otherwise you will get a wrong answer, right? So dilution buffer, making the total volume to the 10 ml. Okay, so it is diluted from this first dilution tube. Now you need to keep into mind, so the first tube is actually the stock tube. Now he is telling this is the first dilution tube, this is the second dilution tube, third, fourth, right? So I need to keep the numbers. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and then 3, and this is 4. So you need to keep this into mind that this is not the first tube. First tube is called stock, and you are taking this first tube as a dilution tube, right? So again, from the first dilution tube, you are moving 0.1 ml to the next tube into into 9.9 ml, and therefore you are diluting it again 100 times, right? From the second dilution tube, which is this, 0.1 ml is taken and diluted in third tube into the 9.9 ml again. So as you can see here, 0.1 is moving to this tube, which is having 9.9 ml. So again, you are diluting it 100 times. Now tell me, already you have diluted it 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 4, 10 to the power 6 times, right, up to here. Then you are moving 1 ml and you are adding into 9 ml. Therefore, you need to keep this into your mind that this time you are diluting it 10 times. If you add all the numbers 100, 100, 100 and 10, count the number of zeros, so it will give you 10 to the power 7, right? So 10 to the power 7 times you have diluted. So this is your dilution factor. And if you put the dilution, it is 10 to the power minus 7. As I told you, the dilution and dilution factors are opposite to each other in powers, in terms of their powers. So you are diluting it 10 to the power 7 times, right? Now, you are taking 0.1 ml out of this fourth dilution tube, and you are adding over the bacterial culture. So you need to count the number of plaques. The plaques you are able to count is 180. Everything is written in the text, so you can read from here. 0.1 ml is drawn from the fourth tube, and then it is plated over a lawn of susceptible bacterial cells to get the plaques. And then when we count the number of plaques, we are able to get 180. Now what will you do? As I told you, you need to do nothing. Only you need to keep these dilution factors into your mind, and you are taking 0.1 ml here. So this also you need to keep into your mind, because in the last problem, as I told you, I showed you that you were taking 1 ml, not 0.1 ml out of this tube, adding over your culture. So this will also change your results, right? So keep this into mind, and you are getting 180 plaques. So what will you do to get the number of viruses or phases in this tube? You need to multiply this 180 with 10 to the power 7, right? So erasing everything. So here you can see it is showing the dilution, not the dilution factor. So 10 to the power minus 2 here, then again 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 2, 10 to the power minus 1. Overall, he was able to get 10 to the power minus 7. And if you convert this dilution into dilution factor, so it will, the power will change, means it will become positive. So 180, you need to multiply with the 10 to the power plus 7. Also, you need to keep this into your mind. You are taking 0.1 ml. So you will divide 1 with this value, because this is 1 per ml. You need to take 1 bacteriophage per ml, but you are taking only 0.1. Therefore, this will be converted into 10, and this 10 will be added into this power. So this is 180 into 10 to the power 8. If you put a point here, you will add 10 to the power 10. So the number will become 1.8 into 10 to the power 10 bacteriophages per ml. This is a quite easy problem. You are able to understand, I hope. If you are not able to get this particular problem, please ask. And then we have one more question. Guys, are you able to follow? Only thing where you can make a mistake is this dilution factor and this last tube, from where you are adding only 0.1 ml. So you need to divide 1 by this particular volume which you are taking from the last dilution tube to add over your bacterial culture, right? Finally, you will get 1.8 in 10 power 8. Now, there is second problem, which is second type. 0.1 ml Ehrlichia autobacteriophage stock having concentration of 4 into 10 power 9 and added 2.5 ml of E. coli cells having concentration on this. So what will be multiplicity of infection? So first of all, what will you do? You will count the number of viruses and number of bacteria. How will you count? See, to count the number of viruses, because this is the number of passes per ml, and you are taking only 0.1 ml, right? So what will you do? You will divide this number by 10. So 4 into 10 to power 9, if you divide by 10, you will get 4 into 10 to power 8. So one value will be reduced because you are taking only zero point 0.1 ml, but this is the number 4 per ml. Because you are taking 10th ml of the 1 ml, so you need to divide by 10, and ultimately 1 power will be reduced. So 4 into 10 to power 8 viruses in this particular volume, 0.1 ml. So you can add, this is the real number you are having in your hand. Then you need to calculate the number of E. coli host cells also. Here it is taking 0.5 ml, that is half ml, but it is given for per ml. So here actually this will become 1 into 10 to power 8, because you, if you divide this value by 2, you are taking half. So divide by 2, this 2 will be removed, and this is known as 1 into 10 to power 8 E. coli cells. Now you are having both the number in the same power. So here also you are having 10 to power 8. Here is also you are having 10 to power 8. What will you do next? You need to multiply this number, because these are the viruses. These are the bacterial cells. So if you put a division sign here, what will happen? This will cancel, and the multiplicity of infection will become 4. So actually this is asked. So what will be the multiplicity of infection? It will become 4. So you are having 4 bacteriophages, the viruses, to infect each bacterial cell. Now, if the question can be asked in some other form, which I will tell you here only. Suppose you are able to calculate this multiplicity of infection. Now, you are asked how many cells in the culture will remain uninfected and how many cells will be infected by this multiplicity of infection. So now what will you do? You need to calculate P naught value. So further, if you calculate the P naught value, so it will be e to the power, so e to the power minus 4, because the multiplicity of infection is this. So you need to put this sign here, e to the power minus 4. And if you calculate this, it will give you, you have a calculator, you can calculate this 0.018, right? So this is the number of this is the P naught number. Now you need to calculate the percentage out of it. So the percentage is simply, you need to put, the percentage will be 1.83, right? 83. So this will be your percentage of cells that will remain uninfected. And if you were asked the number of, or the percentage of infected cells, so this is the percentage only. If you need to count the number of cells also, you need to keep into your mind that you need to change this percentage 1.83%, and you need to count from the number of cells you are having in your hand. So the number of cells was actually 1 into 10 to power 8 bacterial cells. So you can also calculate the exact number of bacterial cells from this percentage, but I am telling you the percentage only. Okay, so if you need to ask the number of infected cells percentage also, what will you do? You need to remove, subtract this number 1.83 out of 100. So you will get 98.17%. So these percentage of cells will be actually your infected cells at this multiplicity of infection 4, right? So if you are having multiplicity of infection 4, only 98.17% of your cells will be infected, okay, in your bacterial culture, and number of cells which will remain uninfected is close to 2%. So that's how you will calculate number of cells, uninfected, infected, multiplicity of infection, number of the clot forming units, everything you can calculate if you are clear with basics, right? If you have a query, please ask. In next class, we will start this topic. This is actually the genetic analysis of bacteriophages or viruses. Quite interesting topic, and then actually many questions have been asked from this particular topic. So we will start this in our next class on. Okay, no problem. If you do not have any queries, so thank you for the class. Have a good day. And if you have any query, please ask me over WhatsApp, right? So no problem at all. Thank you so much.